Kristin is a futurist and the director of MOD at the University of South Australia. MOD is a futuristic museum of discovery, a place to be and be inspired by dynamic, changing exhibitions, showcasing the edge of knowledge. MOD opened in 2018 and aims to surprise and delight young adults, opening new possibilities and pathways so that we can all live well. And I know that some of you tomorrow are going to have the MOD experience. Welcome, Kristin.
You've been talking about building spaces for learning about STEM and how you might use spaces in ways to help people think through some of those skills and technologies and learning that they need to apply through a classroom experience. What we're trying to do is a different approach which sits alongside what you're doing. So I've designed something that really doesn't replicate what you do. It should sit alongside, it should be different, and hopefully what I'm going to explain shows that. The first thing I started with when I arrived at the University of South Australia 2 years ago was we want to do something that encourages our young people to take up STEM, because we think that's where the future of their employment and their careers lie. And this is a quote from the Federal Department of Education and Training. It's about ensuring that our young people are equipped with skills for the future. I just find this quote really depressing. There was nothing really in that quote that spoke to me around student-centred. You know, how do you find out what young people are good at and really help them develop that for a lifetime of, happiness at work? How do you give them a sense of what is right? You know, what we should be doing, the type of world we want to live in, and getting them to create the world that we want, rather than slotting into the world that we've inherited or that we've passed down to them. How do you get them exposed to people who have incredible amounts of talent so that they're inspired to try new things? And how do you just infuse them with the excitement of beauty and truth? You know, there is something, as we all know, in the beautiful delicacy of a butterfly's wing that we should be able to enjoy just because it is beautiful. There is something beautiful in the way that the light catches the water that has a scientific explanation, and it's more beautiful for knowing that. And what I really wanted to do at MOD was not stop at the utilitarian or future-proofing angle of why we do STEM, but take us all the way out to beauty and truth. MOD is a science centre. There's a number of design principles that we've put in to guide how we build MOD. We want to be accessible and inclusive. So accessible, that means if you come in with a disability, you will still have an experience that reflects our design intention. But it also means that if you come in with an extraordinary passion for space, for instance, there will be something there that allows you to explore that in advanced ways. And we want to be inclusive. So again, we're really conscious that at that age group, as you know, of 15 to 25, where you're really creating your identity, you might not have come to conclusions about who you are. And we don't want any of that indecision or any of those decisions that you make to prevent you from interacting in our space in a way that is welcoming. So we're making sure that we have a range of people who work in the space, from cultural backgrounds, who identify from different sexualities, who are different ages, who have different discipline experiences, that if you walk in that front door, you might see someone who looks like you, as opposed to seeing a stereotypical scientist ready to greet you to explain things, and we think that's really important. I will say about a third of our casual staff are from science and tech backgrounds, a third of our casual staff are from arts backgrounds, and a third are from broadly say other backgrounds. It includes some teachers, some architects, some designers, and people who've worked in hospitality. So again, not everybody that you encounter is going to bring a science perspective, and that's also really great, I think. We want to be connected to research and enterprise, and really it's about being able to bring in a whole lot of really fascinating ideas so that our young people in this state are inspired by what's happening around the world. We want to be open and open-ended, so we probably struggled a bit with this. So first of all, we want all of our software to be open source. All of our prototyping is up on GitHub. The idea being that people could then take that away and work on it and bring us back new solutions or new ideas. One of the pieces of software we're working with is the Worldwide Telescope, and anybody can get into that and create a tour around space. And then we can bring those into the space, so that's really important. We want it to be open-ended so that you don't leave knowing answers, but you have more questions, and at least you might know the sorts of questions that you want to ask. That's been challenging because the other thing that we learnt from working with young people was that, and again, you'll know this, they don't like to look stupid. So they don't want to come in and feel like they shouldn't be there, that they don't know what they're doing, that maybe they're going to do something wrong. They want to come into a space and have the confidence that they're in the right place and that they know what the next step is. And after that, they feel a bit more comfortable to ask stupid questions, but they don't want to look stupid when they come in, especially in your free time. And so we've kind of moved some of our thinking around how much detail we need to provide for people when they come in versus how open it is. And you'll see different approaches, and we're playing with that in the first exhibition. We want it to be participatory. In fact, I made one of my exhibition managers spend 3 months trying to build a hoverboard skate park. We found that we could do it, that it was a budgetary stretch, but it was possible. And then we canned it on the basis that it was boring, because we realised that actually to make it work, it would be one person giving a demo 3 times a day. And I said, that's not participatory. We want people to be able to come in and do things, not just watch, not just admire things from afar. We want it to be scalable, so if you come in by yourself and on your lunch hour, you'll have a good experience. If you come with a group of 20 people before you go out for a night on town, you'll also have a good experience. And this is my favourite one. Most of all, we want to be unexpected and audacious. So I tell the story about working around a project that was looking at artificial intelligence and somebody going, yeah, we could represent that as a brain, and we all went, couldn't we represent it as a heart? Or a giant cube, or anything but the obvious. And so we really tried to bring people into ideas in kind of left of field ways that surprised them, and tried to be audacious as possible. Because if we do what's safe first up, then we won't actually hit the mark. And you'll see in some of our exhibitions that we've pushed for things that aren't safe. I mean, they're workplace health and safety safe, but they're risky ideas because, again, we're dealing with a young adult audience who are pushing the boundaries of what they know, and we have to be there with them. So most of all, mod is designed to be not what you know, and to subvert that and to keep people asking questions, but also to keep them surprised or revolted, or delighted or confused, but mostly to keep them engaged and to want to come back.